Welcome back to Tennis Manager 25, episode number 10. We're into March, and I think this is a point in this season, at least, where we're going to be able to settle in and push forward a little bit quicker until we get to, well, really our next Junior Slam. So let's get right on with a 300 level tournament for Uni. It was a wild card, but we did get a good first round draw. Second round could be challenging, and well, really the first round too, because our rank is really above our skill level. It is a first round victory though. Tight contest. Uni's form really dropped after taking a couple losses of late, and the seeded opponent is able to knock us off in the second round. So at least it's a second round appearance, but Uni not pushing very deep into these higher level junior tournaments, which is no surprise considering how she has developed over the last couple of years. We got her competitive year one, woohoo! Year two, with the weaker trainer, made a little bit of progress, and it's showing that it was only a little bit. Our next tournament was a 200, and it's a first round exit despite being seeded. Colas takes the win. We lose 2-6, 3-6. Really barely competitive on this one. Minus 12 on winners. Unforced errors was a bit of a problem today when we're only talking about 100 points played. That's a pretty poor percentage. The forced errors likewise were poor. Our opponent kept it very clean, under control, and really dominated every single facet of the game to come out fairly comfortable. So the first period of the season is behind us, and Uni has gone up 10 spots in the rankings with a solid 474 points accumulated over that stretch, and prize money of near 12k, which that's like a whole year worth of prize share compared to what we were getting previously. So playing in these higher level tournaments, even though she's not having a ton of success, is panning out pretty well so far. That was 10 tournaments. That's a pretty long period, but 14 of 24 matches won, 58%, a little bit lower percentage compared to what we're used to with Uni, but that's enough to at least stay competitive. And with the extra prize share, it's definitely helping us out. Tanaway has moved up, but only just a little bit. It is 60 points won over the period, and 4k actually, so that's a pretty decent chunk of change herself, at a very similar win percentage. Now that it's been a full month since hiring a new staff member and having a new business center upgrade implemented, it's time to check in on those finances and see how much better off are we. The bottom line is we've actually increased our profit margin a fair bit. We're up to 20,000, just over 20,000 in monthly profit now, and that is starting to get into that healthy territory where you're going to accumulate at least a bit of cash on a fairly regular basis, meaning upgrades are not just from the board injections at the end of the year, but you're going to be able to make upgrades along the way, and that's the territory that can get the finances out of our mind and into the past here at some point, and just growth. 20k is not that much. Not yet. There are a long ways to go. You know, we're already talking about upgrades that cost 900,000 and 600,000, and that's not the expensive ones that are almost $1 million here. So yeah, no, we're not quite to that stage. But back over on the medical center, we did experiment with something. We found a better staff member to see if it would offset their own costs, and it has succeeded. So the new staff member, who was a level 3, we only had a single medical center level 1 staff member before the level 3, their addition was 2.7k monthly, but our increase is nearly 8k, meaning it's added 5k in profit for us. So we are getting nowhere near our max, but we are getting higher up. So the potential of eliminating our level 1 and trying to push up to maybe another level 3 is there. Now, will that increase us? Is it the average of them? Is it the top end of the group? Is it a cumulative factor? The only The only scenario where it wouldn't benefit us is if it's only taking into account your highest tier member of staff. So if having a level 3 and a level 1 and then having two level 3s doesn't change the variable on that part, then all we're looking at is losing $1,000 for having somebody who was at 1,700 versus 2,700 in salary. So you're just changing the salary cost, and at least there's a benefit to your athlete. So for potentially giving back another 1,000, giving that away, I think it might be worth it to give that a shot. Now, in the meantime, we can't get higher than level 3. Nobody's interested because our infrastructure is just not good enough. Our reputation as an academy is not good enough to hire better. So it's the best we can attract right now. But I think it's worth it to try to get to two tier 3 staff. We might be able to get ourselves a level 4. The negotiation level is incredibly low on this one. Incredibly low. But we'll give it a shot. I mean, we have room to hire more physios. I could turn around and fire that other one, and at the very least, we're talking about raising the reputation further. She wants a long contract. That is completely fine with me. It's going to be quite a while before we're going to be pushing well above this type of level. And yeah, there's more wage and signing bonus, and we're going to have to boost that even more. We're going to have to absolutely add a few clicks in there and give her a healthy bonus, but that's okay. That is okay. We are talking about some good financial gains for us. 3K. How's she feeling about that? Pretty good. Very good chance of that contract getting signed. Uni's form continues to get worse as we've been having these first or second round exits. So we go into a 300 level tournament and lose again. 2-6, 2-6. These 300 levels appear to be a little too tough for us. We need to be trying to stick down to the 200s. I mean, this is Uni getting completely outplayed. And we have an agreement, so Morose will sign with us, so we're going to now have a Tier 4 and Tier 3 medical trainer, physio on staff. We're going to fire the Level 1 staff member to, make way for the new addition, but this should push up our value even higher and maybe not pay for itself quite on this one, but there's a good chance that it will. I mean, we got a 5K increase before. All we need is a 3K increase to offset this one. In fact, it was a 7K increase, right? Almost 8. So with that, we're going to try to dismiss what's it going to cost. Severance is 5K. That's not bad. Everything was going so great, and then a little drop in form, and things are getting challenging. Uni's rank already dropped to 62nd. Tanaway, meanwhile, is also having a little bit in terms of struggles herself. Her form is down to good, not great, so she's slipped almost outside of the top 200 now. Somehow Uni's the 2 seed. 2 seed at 50 for a 200 level tournament in Algeria. Let's see if she can live up to it and push on to, well, really, you would think based on our first few rounds, she should easily make the quarterfinal or semis. An opponent she's never lost to, and we nearly lost in the first round, but we are at least going to see round number 2, 7 double faults. Definitely not her regular area to be 28 unforced errors on 180 points is not great, not awful. And our second round opponent, despite not having a good ranking, was on paper significantly better than Uni and a heavy favorite who is also in good form. How her rank is not good. She must have just bumped up into the 200 level tournaments. Just doesn't have the points to back the quality that she has. So a younger, maybe early bloomer who is actually blooming unlike us. And yeah, she beat us extremely comfortably. We weren't in any facet of this match. 5 double faults to 0. Minus 11 on winners. Even the unforced errors was minus 3 and the forced errors was minus 10. Yowzer. Second round exit's not going to help us improve our form. So in the description, there's the better and larger your medical staff is. This has not seemingly made a difference for us. However, it did happen in the month of February, so maybe we need to... It always seems to be calculated like right at the beginning of the month, and then it's doesn't change, even though you make changes during the month. So I think next month we will see if there's an actual difference. But based on how things are going at the moment, the medical center might be a better hang on to your profit kind of station than the business center is. And so the cold therapy and the balneotherapy rooms might get attention sooner rather than later, though we don't necessarily have the cash for that right now. So maybe we'll wait for like a cold therapy room option, $14K in costs, but $40K on the max side. And as we push closer and closer, that should be $30K on the max side with $14K. That's like a $15,000 monthly increase. The other thing too is not just better, but also larger medical staff. So as we do hire somebody additional here, we can get that third physio in at the tail end of this year, and maybe between the three push this margin a little bit higher. Right now it's 2/3, right? We're making 2/3 of what we could potentially make. So actually it's even lower. 200 level uni just escaping the first round here. This was an extra tournament I took as a wild card, and yeah, we just got out of the first round. Tanaway, meanwhile, is struggling. She had a first round exit in her. She actually got an invite. It was a 200 level tournament. That was always going to be tough for her. But it's the 3 seed here in the second round. Somebody who was ranked right where we were just a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. And finally, we get a win against a higher seed. That's not happened in quite some time. 3-6, 6-4, 6-3. 53% overall, fewer winners, but kept it cleaner. That's the uni we know. 6 seed in the quarterfinal, and we're a higher rank. 1-1 all time against Nemchek. Tough match though. They're stronger on paper, but we're through uni. This is going to help that form a lot. Still behind, but a lot of winners, and kept it extremely clean compared to an opponent who was awful in that department. 47 unforced errors. I'm not sure I've even seen that many before. 200 points played. That's like a quarter of the points. 1 out of every 4 she's making an unforced error. Meanwhile, at 19 out of 204, that's that magical below 10% mark. That's where you want to get any player. If you can get below 10% errors, you get 1 error every 10 points played. That's the kind of territory that gets you into winning. It's the kind of territory that even though you're behind on the winners and technically behind on the forced errors and behind on service, you still manage to win. Funny thing is, making a semifinal should be great for form, but it's also only a 200 level. Is uni not going to appreciate this one? Well, luckily it's Ji Ranlan who we beat head-to-head, I think, in that tournament recently. This was the one where she was up 5-1 and then came back from down 5-6, like gave up 5 straight games, came back and won the match. Is that Ji Ranlan? I think that was. It's the 7 seed Emily Chen, 78th ranked, so actually a little bit lower than us in the final, if we can get there. Not this time though. We lose 3-6, 6-7. So is the semifinal going to help Uni's form? It's not going to hurt it, but is it going to help it? So we'll find out here shortly. This is what weak form looks like, by the way. When you have great form, you get +2s on virtually everything. Now we're looking at either neutral or -1 on most things. There's very few things that still have a positive. Speed has a +3. We're very quick right now at a 16 with the bonus. 20s max. So these can't push you beyond 20. If you have 19 and you got a +2 and everything else, you're going to only have a +1 there. Focus is great, and that's one of the key things. What's highlighted here is what's key for the tactic, the primary tactic that you're running, the offensive baseline play, which we're now very good at. And having a forehand better than other things is good for that tactic. Having focus better than everything else is good for that tactic. Uni is growing into her tactic, but we're still lacking technical. And now that you're taking away 2 to 3 points in all of these categories, Uni's struggling to perform right now. And at least for the moment, it looks like we have not seen an increase in form, because I already had pushed it back up to weak just through training form. Our last couple training sessions were specific to form. So therefore, the takeaway on this one is a semifinal for a 200, not helping on form. That's kind of the expected place for uni to be, meaning it's probably going to take a final and or win of a final to get anything out of being in a 200 level tournaments. But those 300 and above, well, for now, our rank has dropped sufficiently low that we're not even getting into those unless we get an invite, and we seem to be getting knocked out in the first round anyway with the tougher opponents. We are very much in the slippery slope of once form is lost, it's really hard to find in this game. Going down to a lower level tournament doesn't necessarily help you gain form because there's an expectation, there's a mindset of I'm beyond this, I'm better than this, I'm above this. And therefore, even when you have moderate to fairly good success in that lower level stuff, it's not validating. It's below you. And so, how do you find it? How do you start winning again when the bad form in the first place is what's kind of causing you to lose, and you can't reverse that? Uni's definitely going to be in trouble here for a bit. That's trouble. 20 points, 28% of total points won. She just got slaughtered. This is the worst loss I've ever had a character take, I think. I do not think, in all the years of playing Tennis Manager, from the original mobile version through now, I've never seen a performance this bad. Only 8 winners, crushed on the error side as well. I mean, we more than doubled up, and we weren't competitive in the slightest. I mean, nothing about this. At least Tanaway is having a little bit of success this week. She hasn't pushed into a quarterfinal for a 60 since the early portion of the season. Since moving away from training her directly, her form has definitely slipped down a little bit. But for her, she's kind of meeting expectations, so she's not freaking out too much. But Uni is full freak out mode right now. Probably a big mistake, but at least it'll pay out a little something. $700 anyway. So Uni 500 level tournament. We're in Milan and up against the 5 seed. There's no chance that she's going to get out of this first round. 3-6, 6-7. At least she was competitive, but my oh my, the run of bad form is going to continue. Well, the upgraded staff has had an impact. It did make a difference in the following month. So as we enter into June, we're up to 71% of value, the return on our medical center. And again, I think all the more reason that I think that cold therapy room here in December will be, when we get that injection, will be our next upgrade. Because of that 40K, we're going to be able to keep, 30K of it almost. But we're now up to 27K per month increase. So for the moment anyway, well worth the finances that we put into that one. There's other places the return is just nowhere near as good. But looking into those other areas, quality of staff does impact our youth and scouting center finances. But will it also change what's going on with our youth team? Speaking of youth team, everybody's above a 4 now, but Tommy Wing, the one who's supposed to have the best potential, is lagging much further behind all of the others. And the one who's supposed to be the late bloomer has made the most progress. Nothing about this is looking like, ooh, that's somebody we should take. Yeah, this is all a little problematic, isn't it? But staff is supposed to help us, and right now we have a very simple level 1 scout. I'm wondering if improving them will at least give us a little bit better return here and offset the cost. I mean, notoriety of players is also a factor, but yeah, maybe we can get a little something out of an improved scout. Oh, and right away, the first one that I've clicked on, the first one is willing to talk. A level 4 scout. Let's see. We'll see what happens. I mean, that's a small signing bonus, so I think we're pretty good there. One tick up, that should do it. Monthly wage. So it's going to cost us an extra $1,400 a month and the $10K overall. It's an experiment, but it's not going to take much to offset $1,400 when our values are so low right now. And so we're going to dismiss our current scout. He had multiple years on his contract, so it's going to cost a little bit in severance, but $4,500, I mean, that's easy. Here's where the bad news begins. Both are in bad form, so we dropped from 47th to 62nd in the rankings. Yes, we still picked up points and some prize money, but a 44% win rate. For Tanaway, down to 25% win rate, just 2 wins in 6 tournaments. We have been able to at least get Uni's morale fixed and get her form back up to average, which is now taking away most of the penalties. Like her volley penalty is still pretty bad, but a lot of these are getting at least back to neutral instead of -1. There's a few positive ones. This could be the start of getting her back into some sort of winning mentality. I mean, we were consistently getting to quarterfinals, semifinals, or finals for all the 200s. Now we're getting knocked out in the first or second round. That's the difference just a few points can make. And I think it very well could have made the difference for this match as we just squeak out a first round victory, 6-3, 6-4. Pretty tight contest. The unforced errors is what made the difference with a +14. But just like that, we're out in the second round, so the form hasn't improved that much as we lose to somebody who was pretty low ranked. We did keep it cleaner today, but just couldn't find that killer instinct to finish off the opponent. Svabodova. Yeah, Badova. Zvabodova. Had us beat quite handily on winners. We were -21 in that department. Well, as we approach the end of June, I did say we were going to speed things up, and speed things up we have done. But the form has dropped right back down for Uni with that second round exit that we just had. So she's right back into a whole lot of trouble. The development, at least, though, has continued. We have focused mostly on physical this year. So this is since we resumed control. She went from about an 11.5 to 12.5, so she's gained about a point across the board in the physicals, and you can see that we are seeing some development in that area, and the form doesn't hurt quite as bad. The more you train it, the more you offset the form impact. So, it's one of those ways to kind of cheese that in your direction. Mental average has also grown during this time. Technicals has gone right back to flatlining, where it was gaining, definitely slower than what we're seeing here. Where it was gaining, it's now flatlined. As for Tadaway, we should be seeing the opposite. Here's her physical from last year. Now that's flatlined. Here's her mental from last year. That has pretty much flatlined. And now it's her technical average, which is also lagging behind, just like Uni, is growing more rapidly this year. But again, that's not much better than a flat line. Maybe it's time for us to invest. I'm going to wait at least into next month. I want to see what the finances are looking like. Well, no, it's going to really be the end of July, I think, before we see, because the new hire just happened like a week or two ago. So it was already inside June. If we're going to see any difference in the finances, or at least for the finances to remain neutral after our improved scout hire, it's going to take us till the end of July before we see that. So maybe I'll just get on with it, or maybe I won't. I don't know. I'll mull that one over in between episodes here. But the next thing is trying to hire a trainer who is actually good for technical, right? That one coach is definitely better for technical, but if we can add a trainer who is quite good at it, then both of them. And when we hire somebody, when we add a third member to the squad from this class at the end of the year in December, not that any of them look good, but when we add one, then you can get technical training for all three. That will make a whole year of training, not just bring you up half a point where we're doing a full point or better, elsewhere. In the meantime, we've got just a couple of 10s. I mean, that's it for Tanaway. She's got a long ways to go. Backhand 10, balance is a 10. A number of 9s in the physicals, though. Focus is a 9. timing is a 9, her forehand is an 8, but she has no consistency. That was a 3, it's now a 4, it's almost a 5. Her drop shot is also improving, but it's still just a 3. When it trains, it does a little bit better, but she's just so weak across the board. We did get her speed up to a 9 like last week or something, or this week, so there's that at least. But it's been a rough go for Tanaway. Meanwhile, Uni specifics on those attributes: 13, 15, 13. Her mental is now quite strong. Physical's catching up, everything's 10 plus to a maximum of a 13. We're averaging like a 12 here. Yeah, we are exactly a 12. So physical has caught up to the mental, and the mental got even stronger. So progress there. You get another point in each of these this year, and we're talking about a good year for Uni. Strong physical, capable of playing at the seniors. Strong mental, capable of playing at the seniors. The 3 accompanying attributes, though, are not, because we haven't been playing at a high enough level to bring those up at all. She's in her 3rd year and has gained 0 points in the other 3 non-trainable ones. This is what's hurting us. And yes, we picked it up a little bit last year, right? We've got a lot of 7s now. That's about the average. Definitely better than it was, and a lot that are close to leveling up, but they're just not going anywhere. I think that's all the more reason, in a big way, what's holding Uni back, right? Because when she had form, she had a +2 to all of these, and a +2 to a 6, that's a 33% increase. It's a 25% increase by the time you're on an 8, right? So it's a huge difference. And not only is the lack of form taking that away, but it's sending it the opposite direction. It's -2. So an 8, instead of being a 10, it's a 6. That's a 40% difference. That's massive. It's massive. So Uni was competitive. Now without form, oh man, she is in trouble. And all because we got pushed up into a new level because of her age that she's just not handling. She's not equipped to handle. And the technical average of those around us improved over those couple of years for them to get to that age, to get to that level. She's just not competing. So Uni's in trouble. Tanaway's not developing hardly at all, not well enough. I think we're in for a rough couple of seasons here until we can find an early bloomer in our academy who can be the next Uni, because Uni's already got herself in trouble. The only thing that can maybe fix that is a new trainer who focuses in technical that's a lot stronger than what we have right now. But here's the problem with that. Kissel is the trainer right now. He's already a level 3 coach, which, okay, fine. His strongest is tactics, right? So it doesn't have to be that technical, right? If somebody's a little stronger in technical, it could be a good thing. We can get a trainer who's maybe a little bit better than this. Therein lies the problem, though. A little bit better is not going to have a massive impact. It's only going to be a subtle difference. We'll train a little bit quicker in our technical training. He's a 2-star. Maybe we can find a 3-star. But that's, here's our 2 new physios. They're just 3 stars. Kissel's a 3-star in tactical and mental, and we're not seeing any rapid development there either. We're seeing rapid development here because it's 20 out of 20. And we have low facilities, offsetting that, making it worse. But offsetting a 3-star and making it worse is just, it's making it hard for improvement. Remember, Uni had Kissel's 2 stars all last year. But if we can get a 3-star, and I see that long rallies and spins aren't as important. We need to focus on like forehand, backhand, get somebody with a really, really high rating in a couple of those, and at least we can train up something get one attribute to move up 3 or 4 points over the course of a year, that's something. And that's what I'm trying to get with uni. We have a 20 and 4 hand, and maybe it's time that I push off into that category. I want to get one more level for uni though before we do that. Negotiations at that 6, I can put a couple points into that, and then maybe dump all the rest, a dozen points or so into backhand, and then I can start using myself to at least manipulate a couple attributes for our players, because otherwise there's just no development. I think I've rambled way too long on this one, and I'll probably have cut out a fair bit of it, but that's going to do it for this episode. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.